So you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So then let's continue. Okay. Now yesterday we were discussing about the rate of breathing. Okay, we discussed how the respiration happens, how the breathing happens. Okay, and then we discussed that the this rate of breathing also changes involuntarily whenever you do any sort of a physical exercise. Your body needs instant energy at the time. So the person in this weightlifting, he's lifting a too much weight, so that means his muscles here they need a too much energy at that instant. In order to get that energy, whatever the food he has taken needs to oxidized, and then you will get an instant energy. That means you should need more oxygen at this point of time than was required without lifting. So what happens? Your breathing rate increases. It is involuntarily. Okay. How this thing happens, we will come to know down the line. Okay, when we will learn the different life processes. So this is the involuntary action that happens. Now because of that, so what we see, our heart rate increases. So we get a too much oxygen in our body. Okay, and that oxygen is utilized to convert the food that we have taken into the energy. Okay, so that's the whole process happens. That's why whenever you are running, you will see your heartbeat increases a lot. When you are running on the treadmill, it increases furthermore. Okay, and this is the main reason. Your body is designed in such a way that whenever you need more oxygen, involuntary heart rate will increase. Okay, nothing to worry about that if it is increasing. But if you are not walking, if you are not doing any hard work and still it is increasing, then it's a sign of problem. You need to consult your doctor immediately. Correct. So but this is the normal process if this thing happens. Clear?
Sir,
Yes.
I had a doubt in the things which you
Yes.
sent.
Yes, please ask.
So yeah, you have to show how the food passes through each and every organ.
Yes.
So can we just do that in the place where we are drawing digestive system, like how the food is moving?
Yeah, so basically there are two things that you should do. The first one is the level diagram that is showing how it is going. Okay. Second thing, you just do a block diagram. That means make a block that this is my mouth. Okay. In the mouth, so in the last class also we discussed that chart. In the mouth, what is happening? We have the grinding, we have the this one. Here this food is traveling. Then here we get okay, like a esophagus. In the esophagus, it is a pipe, nothing is happening in this. Gullet, no digestion,
So like
nothing.
a flow chart kind of a thing.
Like a flow chart kind of thing. So that flow chart tells that how the food is going.
Uh,
Okay. So that is a so first is the level diagram that shows how the structure looks like. Okay, with all the proper, and the second chart will be showing how the flow of the food is going. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's move on to this next part. Okay. In this rate of breathing, sometimes you would have seen that when we breathe through nose, we can, however, not breathe inside the water. Any reason why? Why we cannot breathe inside the water?
So, because the oxygen present inside the water is not suitable for human.
But it has oxygen. Okay. The reason because yeah, the water does not have free air or oxygen. Okay, like in the air we have the free oxygen which is available, but in the so if you see the air is a mixture of gases. Air is a mixture of gases. It contains oxygen O2, it contains CO2, it contains N2, it contains dot. But it is like they are present in this holistic manner. But in the water, oxygen is present in the chemical form H2O. That means I need to break this molecule to get this oxygen, which I can't do. Okay, that's the problem. Only marine creatures can do that. This one we call the free oxygen, which is available to take. This is not a free oxygen. This is attached to this water molecule. So I cannot get that. What happens that, so we need a free oxygen for breathing. Okay, only fish and other marine creature can do, because they have the gills. The gills actually does this purpose. Okay, so the deep sea divers, we have seen that they carry oxygen cylinder along with them for breathing when they go under the sea. And we have also studied that oxygen required for breathing and respiration is carried by the hemoglobin present in our blood. Okay, how that thing happens we are going to discuss in much detail in transportation. Okay, but as of now we should remember that this is by the hemoglobin. Now the next thing comes, the normal range of the hemoglobin in the blood of a healthy adult is from 12 to 18 gram per deciliter. If you do your blood test, it will show how much is the hemoglobin level is. It shows like sometimes 10.5, 11, correct? Don't just, don't always just see this number, see the unit also. What is the meaning of unit? 10, so if it is, let's say, 10 or 12, it is 10 gram per deciliter. Deciliter is how much? What is the meaning of deci? Any idea? How much is deciliter? I'm asking. See, it is deci, meaning is 1 by 10th, 10 to the power minus 1. So we know that milli is what? 10 to the power minus 3. Micro, 10 to the power minus 6. Similarly, deci we have 10 to the power minus 1. Correct? Like we have a deca, that is 10 to the power plus 1. So 10 to the power minus 1 is the deci. That means 1 by 10th of a liter. 1 by 10th of a liter means 100 ml. 100 milliliter. So in the 100 milliliter, you will have 10 to 12 grams of hemoglobin. That's it. Are you getting? Now, deficiency of the hemoglobin in the blood of a person, if there is a deficiency happens, what is happening? Reduces the oxygen carrying capability, because it is the hemoglobin which only takes the oxygen, and resulting in the breathing problems, tiredness, lack of energy. Correct? Doctor says that yeah, hemoglobin is less. We are the science student, we should quickly able to correlate what is happening. That means if the hemoglobin is less, the oxygen from the nose, it will not reach to the every cell. If it doesn't reach, what will happen? I will not get energy. I will feel tired. I will feel breathing issues. I will have lack of energy. Yes. Person look pale. Lose weight. Why? Because the hemoglobin is less. Correct? Many times we heard of the carbon monoxide poisoning also. What is this? This happens how? Carbon monoxide is formed whenever a fuel burnt in an insufficient supply of air. So if you take a charcoal or any kind of carbon product, if you burn in the little presence of the oxygen or almost absence of the oxygen, what happens? You will see like in the closed space, then the lot of carbon monoxide is formed. Carbon monoxide is also produced when we burnt the petrol in the car, or any kind of petrochemical, petrol, diesel, when you burn, because that is always not a complete combustion. There is always be some incomplete combustion and you will get some gases, carbon monoxide. We most of the time we remain in traffic. Okay, now we know that the hemoglobin present in our blood carries the oxygen to all part of the body. Hemoglobin, and one more thing is hemoglobin has more attraction for the carbon monoxide than oxygen. Let's say here is the hemoglobin Hb, and there are two options given to this: carbon monoxide or oxygen. Hemoglobin always take the carbon monoxide. Okay, generally we are attracted to the bad things very easily, na? In comparison to the good things. If somebody tells you this book is very good, read it fully in 2 days, you will never read. But if somebody tells you, yeah, this is the video game, do this full night, you will do night out, but play that game. That happens because we are more prone or more attracted to the not good things. Generally good things come in a hard way. That's what we have seen in the nature. Okay, so what happens, like carbon monoxide binds very strongly with the hemoglobin in the blood and prevents it from carrying. Now once this bond is made, now this hemoglobin will not be able to take the oxygen. Okay, so if the oxygen doesn't take, that means this oxygen will not reach to the different cell because hemoglobin is enjoying with the carbon monoxide. Simple. Correct. Now due to this lack of oxygen, person cannot breathe properly. If the carbon monoxide is inhaled for a long time, the person become unconscious and then just bring the flowers because the oxygen is not there. That's why person having the breathing problems or the respiratory problem are given the oxygen mask first to facilitate breathing. First they need given the oxygen, because if the oxygen is not given for a, if your brain does not get an oxygen for less, for approximately 3 to 5 seconds, you will be dead. Correct? It is so much serious. That's why the moment there is some serious problem, breathing issue, first the oxygen is given. Patient is put on a machine called the ventilator, in which a tube is inserted directly into the trachea or the windpipe of the patient. We directly insert there to help him breathing comfortably. Before we describe, okay, clear? So this is how basically sometimes the question comes, why, how the carbon monoxide is poisonous for us. What happens actually? This is the process. Carbon monoxide has the great affinity with the hemoglobin. When it reacts, then it they form basically compound sort of. Okay, so we call carboxyhemoglobin, and because of that, what happens? This hemoglobin and oxygen does not combine. So oxygen does not reach to your cell and you don't get any energy. Clear?
Yes, so
Okay. Now the next part is basically, so this what you call respiratory system is like more or less it's completed. Okay, now we will just see the few facts. We will just sort of summarize what we have learned. Okay, in last few classes, there are few very interesting facts about this. Okay, which we should be aware of. Do we know that the left lung, we have the two lungs. The left lung is smaller than the right lung. Okay, any reason why? Why it is so much designed? Because left lung has to accommodate the heart also, which is located on the right left side of the body. Okay, in our body we have a limited space. Every organ need to be fitted in that only. Okay, so that's why left lung down the line we will see. Okay, we will see a small video that shows how this looks like. Okay, so this is one reason. Left lung has the two lobes. It has the two lobes, where the right lung has the three lobes. Lung is the only organ that can float on the water. Okay, they are the only body organ they can float, largely related to the air that is contained within alveoli, because there's a lot of air. We know that any kind of bag which contains the air can float in the air, float in the water. So that's why the lungs can float on the water. If you take out the lungs and put on the water and on any other organ, it can float. That means the density of the lung is less than the density of the water. That's why it floats. Okay, if the lungs were unfolded, correct, like everything is unfolded and expanded out to their fullest size, that will roughly be the size of tennis court. Okay, we have discussed that. When you breathe, 70% of the waste is eliminated in the form of waste gases like carbon dioxide. Okay, remember, when you are breathing in and breathing out, when you breathe out, actually you are removing the waste from your body. Okay, so when that happens continuously, our body actually teaches us that we should also remove the waste from our houses also on a regular basis. Correct, we shouldn't throw it, otherwise it will get blocked. See how beautifully our body is designed, that every second they are taking some fresh and they are throwing out waste. Every second it is happening. So the small air sacs within the lungs where the gas exchange occurs, we call the alveoli, and it is estimated that there are 300 to 500 million alveoli are there in the adult lungs. Correct? So many. To add in the gas diffusion within the alveoli, these air sacs are lined with a layer of water. Okay, so there is a layer of water is there so that the diffusion happens. We know that diffusion, for the diffusion to happen faster, okay, there is a, if you have the water, it basically helps. It increases. Surfactant is produced within the alveoli to reduce the surface tension present. Okay, this keeps the alveoli from collapsing while exhaling. Okay, so this is a phenomena called a surface tension. Okay, surface tension is a very interesting phenomena. In detail, you will learn in the class 11th. This surface tension meaning is like you have seen that the our oil or any kind of drop, raindrop, oil drop, they are in spherical in shape. Question comes why? Why they are spherical? Why not cubic? In your previous thing you would have learned that generally we assume the size of the atom as spherical. Most of the things we assume the spherical. Question is why? Okay, because in the nature what we have found out that on this boundary, this is called the outer boundary of this experience a force inside all the time. This force we call the tension, and since this is happening on the surface, we call the surface tension. Okay, so in the alveoli is also like a spherical balls. What happens, let's say you breathe out, this air became empty. It should not happen that it collapsed. We don't want that, because again it has to inhale. In order to protect its shape, we have this tension present, okay, which acts in both way. Inside, when something is coming out, it applies like this. Outside, okay, so this is the surface tension. Okay, in much detail we will discuss in higher classes, but this is just to give you the fact. Now alveoli is what? It is surrounded by a network of blood vessels. We know those are capillaries. Alveoli and the capillary are each only one cell thick. Okay, they are so small, like whatever the thickness of the one cell, the cell that we have learned in the class 9, this is in the order of 10 to the power minus 6 meter. They are so small. They allow the gas diffusion to occur. In such a small thing, so many things are happening. Okay. Red blood cell called a hemoglobin molecules are responsible for picking up and carrying oxygen throughout the body. RBC we also call. Okay, so we will discuss what is that RBC, WBC also. The lung capacity of an adult is approximately 4 to 6 liter of air. Correct. So at least 6 liter of air you can put inside your lungs if you inhale too hard. Male tend to have the larger lung capacity than the female. Okay, that's what we have observed. Why? Because generally males do a lot of physical work. That is the reason actually, because they go many males like, I'm not talking in terms of a doing the software work in front of a computer. That is not a hard work. That is not a physical work. So many people who are doing the construction work, okay, for any kind of thing, they need to do a lot of hard work. That means they need a more breathing, need to more breathe. So that's why their lung capacity has increased over the period of time. We only breathe about half liter with each breath. Half liter of air you breathe in every breath. A portion of air you breathe never reaches the alveoli. It is referred to as the dead air. Some air, it is not the full air is going because it isn't used in gas exchange. Okay, so some air is actually some air particle which are always there in your trachea or in this nasal passage. They have not reached to there because it is the this system like this. You have now some particle is going until unless there is a space, this particle cannot go now. So they will be remaining and then throughout they goes like that, but that amount is very less. So next one, even if you exhale very hard, volume of approximately 1 to 1.2 liter air remains in your lungs. Your lungs will never be empty. It is not possible. Correct? If it becomes an empty, there are chances it will collapse. And we don't want to make it happen. It can only collapse when you are dead. That's it. At the time, all the air will go off. Now, diaphragm, which is curved, thin muscle seat under the lungs, it is used breathing, flattening as it contracts and causing the lungs to expand. Okay. Now, we don't have to think about breathing because the medulla oblongata, it is a part of our brain stem. It is triggering to inhale. Okay, this is called an involuntary action. In our brain, there is a person or there is a part who is responsible to do this breathing part automatically. When you are doing physical exercises, it gives the signal, please increase the speed. This is the name of that part, brain stem, medulla oblongata. We will discuss this also when we will discuss the brain.
So alcohol affects this, right?
Pardon. Yes, yes, yes. The body is more likely to inhale, okay, likely to inhale because of high carbon dioxide in the blood rather than low level of oxygen. See, the thing is like there are two options are given to you in your body. You have a low level of oxygen, low level, and you have a high carbon dioxide. Think like that. You have a less money at your home, correct, and uh, your home is full of garbage. In which condition, okay, you will take out the oxygen basically, or you will take out the money, will utilize your money to clean the house first or to get the more money. First we will do the cleaning of the house first. Even we can live with the less money, that's fine for some time, and then we will take the more money. But first let's take out the garbage out from our home. Let's say in your room something is stinking very hard, okay, and you have to basically, let's say, go office, earn money, something. What you will do, first let's take this out. It is stinking, otherwise it will be very difficult for me to sustain for a longer time, and then I can. This is the likelihood. Whenever there is a high carbon dioxide level in the blood, we inhale more, we inhale faster. Who is the driver? Carbon dioxide. Epiglottis, we discussed that it covers the trachea and we swallow food so that the food doesn't go in our windpipe. Okay. So in our airways, like a trachea or our nostrils, we have a hair-like protrusion cells. These we call cilia. Okay, they move mucus and trapped particle out of the airways. Smoking can damage these, causing mucus to build up. That's why people say smoking is dangerous. Okay, smoking kills these cells, hair like. cells. That's why you don't inhale the filtration process actually damaged when you do the smoking. Okay, that's why they say don't do this. Sneezing can be triggered by irritation in the nasal passageway. Okay, sneezing can also occur as a photic sneeze reflex, where the body sneezes when moving a dark environment to the brighter one. Okay, so because of the light, like I have the photic sneeze reflex. Whenever I go from lower temperature to the higher temperature or higher temperature to the lower temperature, okay, I always sneeze because I have this photic sneeze reflex. There are few people with the temperature their sneezing comes because there is some sort of irritation happens in the nasal passageway and you get sneezing. Okay, so but it is sometimes triggered by irritation in the nasal passage by some other way. Okay, like in the childhood people used to do na, they will take some sort of a hair like structure, okay, and just for fun they will put in your nose and you will do ding 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 from your hand. Okay, so this happens sometimes. So any kind of irritation in the nasal passageway you will get a sneezing. Because of that you would like to remove that irritation from your nose. That is the outburst, that is the reaction your body does, remove that irritation. If you lose water when you exhale, correct, so at rest our body also loses 0.5 ounce of water, correct. When exercising your body can lose up to 2 ounce, so much. Okay, any idea how much is ounce in liter? I am asking, how much is 1 ounce? So 1 ounce is approximately 30 ml. Okay, so that means 0.5 of that. So that means you approximately 15 ml of water your body is losing during the rest. But when you are exercising, you are losing approximately 60 ml of water. Okay. Most people only breathe through one nostril at a time. Okay, some people notice that which nostril being used switches at sunrise and sunset. Okay, so you can observe that which nose you breathe more. As we discussed yesterday, two nostrils are there just as a backup. If one is blocked, you can take from others. Most of the time we utilize one as more, other as less. Okay, so these are the few interesting facts about our respiratory system. Now, there are few numbers that we should remember always. If you take out, okay, the length covered by the lung airways, that means all this length, if you take that out, it comes out to be 1500 miles approximately. Like all the length if you cover. Any idea how much is 1 mile? You should remember all these numbers.
Like
Like
nearly 1.8 kilometer.
1.7.
Yeah, it is approximately 1.6 kilometer, 1 mile. So 1500 mile is how much? Kilometer. Approximately 2400 kilometer. So that means
Yeah.
2400 kilometer is the length covered by the air in your lungs. My God. 2004 kilometer is the distance from here to Delhi. Okay. So 300 cubic feet daily amount of the air transported by the lungs. 300 cubic feet. It is the volume we are talking about. Okay. 8.15 liter amount of water we breathe every minute. So much air we are breathing. We drink how much liter of water in a full day? Approximately 5 to 6 liter of water. Okay, and more than that, we inhale the air every minute. My God. 300 to 600 millions of alveoli are there in the lung. The number of times we inhale and exhale air in a day is 23,000 approximately. This is in a day. What is the normal breathing rate? 16 times per minute. Okay. So maybe you can today check, put that your timer and see how many times you are breathing. One breathe is basically one inhalation plus one exhalation. This I call is the one breathe. So 16 inhalation plus 16 exhalation we do in 1 minute. Check what is yours. Okay. Today after the class. It is not exactly 16. Few people may have 15. Few people may have 17. Depends. But approximately average is this much. Okay. Getting?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
sir,
Yes.
is it true that the slower you breathe, the longer you live?
Uh, it is not the see the meaning of that is generally the idea here is that uh, we actually train ourselves for the worst case. Okay, we train ourselves for the worst case. What is the meaning of worst case? That's why people say you should inhale much faster. Inhale fast, exhale slow. Exhale slow. Okay. If you are doing this process, what happens? Let's say in some location the amount of air is very less. You inhaled faster now and you are exhaling. That means this process, the time for this is increased. If you do inhale fast, exhale fast, time is t, this will become t plus something, delta t. That means your one inhalation is basically living longer. Then what is the meaning of that? In less amount of air, you are living for a longer time. Okay. So whether that happens or not, we don't know. Okay. There is no proven things for that as of now in the science that if you breathe and you can't do this intentionally because this happens involuntary. You can do for a 1 minute, 2 minute, okay, mostly, but 24 hours you can't do. Okay, I will inhale less. Okay, it happens involuntary, automatically it happens. Okay, yeah, but generally it is told that uh, it is told, but we don't have the proof as of now. Okay, and any kind of law or any kind of thing that will always happen. Maybe I'm not sure. Full.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is basically the diagram, okay, which tells you the summary of that. What are our passageways? So this is the nose we have. This is the passageway for air. Here the name of the organ and the function is written properly. From this, here we have the mouth. It is the passageway for food and air because from this also we take the air. Both of these air actually reaching here in this. Okay. Here we have the nasal cavity from the nose. It filters, it warms the air and it moistens the air. All three functions it is done here. Okay. Here we have the pharynx, is the throat, common passageway for air, food and liquid. This is the common passageway pharynx. Here we have the epiglottis now, which covers this larynx, which our wind is going. Okay, this covers the larynx during the swallowing, so we get the food from here by esophagus. So now in the larynx, this oxygen comes. Here we get a trachea. So this trachea is a windpipe, main airway. Here we also have the ring of cartilage, okay, which is not shown. We should write that also. Ring of cartilage. What is the purpose of the ring of cartilage? The purpose of the ring of cartilage is basically to avoid collapsing of this windpipe. These are the soft bones which are inside this. Inside the pipe, if you put these bones, okay, it will not collapse. Avoid collapsing of trachea. Correct. Then after that it goes, there are two different pipes. Okay, it gets separated from here. So these are the bronchi from here. Now from this again, these are further separated. We got a bronchi. Bronchi means many branches. Bronchus is a one branching airways, and inside each one we call alveoli, which is the air sac for gas exchange. We have two lungs, left lung and right lung. Now both the lungs are covered with the line and the chest cavity. We call pleural membrane. This is the pleural membrane. It is covered. Inside that we have the lung. It is the organ for gas exchange. Then we have the intercostal muscle. This moves the ribs during respiration. Okay, and then these are the ribs. These ribs basically holds the lung together. Okay, it is an envelope to holding it. Then we have the diaphragm. It is a skeleton muscles of respiration. This is the diaphragm like this. Okay, so this is how we need to draw, but the problem is how to draw. This is looking so much complex. Correct? So this is just for understanding, but the question is, if this comes in the exam, how should we draw? Because we have to develop and have it to draw this diagram also with all these functions. So we will draw like this. Okay, this is little simple based on the lines. Okay. So we need to practice this. So this is the part of your homework. You need to draw this diagram properly with all these labelings. Okay, in this each and every labels is written, and it has the two functions. Function of the respiratory system is to breathe in oxygen. Why? What the breathing does? What the oxygen does? To give us the energy, and to breathe out, take out the waste product carbon dioxide from our body out. Okay, and what are the major respiratory system we have? We have nose, nasal passage, trachea, bronchi, lungs and diaphragm. Okay, so these are the 6 nasal systems are there, in which, so this is the diagram that we should draw, and then and these are the functions. Correct. So write the functions for each of them, and so this is the part of your homework. Okay, that you need to draw it. Clear? Doable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what we will do, we will see a small video, okay, that of this respiratory system to get a little clarity. Okay. So this is on the YouTube. Okay. Anyway, like I will just show you. I will open from the YouTube itself. So just see it. So you get a little clarity that how these things happens. Because when you observe them in the 3-dimensional view, okay, it gives a lot more clarity that how these things happens. Okay, you are able to see the screen. You see some video screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's start.
Respiratory system. To understand the process of breathing. In humans, the main organs responsible for respiration are present in the thoracic cavity. In the thorax region, the rib cage and a dome-shaped fibrous tissue known as the diaphragm are observed. Present within the rib cage are the pleural membranes, which enclose the lungs. The right lung is divided into 3 lobes: the right superior, right middle, and the right inferior lobe. The left lung is smaller and has only 2 lobes, the left superior and the left inferior lobe. Both the lungs are associated externally with small tubular bronchi, which unite and extend into the trachea. The trachea has incomplete C-shaped rings of cartilage, which prevent the tracheal wall from collapsing. The trachea leads into the pharynx, which is connected to the nostrils. As we breathe in air, the oxygen molecules enter the nostrils and travel downwards through the pharynx and trachea to finally reach the bronchi. From each bronchus, oxygen travels into the lungs. Within the lungs, the bronchus divides repeatedly to form bronchioles. Oxygen travels through these bronchioles and reaches the alveoli, each of which is surrounded by a network of capillaries. A section of one alveolus shows the presence of numerous alveolar chambers with pores. Blood containing RBCs is seen flowing through the capillaries. The oxygen molecules from the alveolus diffuse into the capillary and then get absorbed by the bluish-purple RBCs. This causes oxygenation of the RBCs, and a transition in their color from bluish-purple to red is observed. The blood moving into the alveolus contains RBCs and carbon dioxide molecules. These molecules are released into the alveolus. The carbon dioxide collects in the alveolar chamber. And then from the alveolus, it travels through the bronchioles into the bronchus, which finally reaches the trachea and is breathed out through the nostrils. So the process of breathing in air rich in oxygen is called inhalation. After the contraction of the muscular diaphragm, the lungs expand and the air rushes in, resulting in the inflation of the alveoli. During exhalation, the diaphragm moves up and the lungs contract. Thus, the alveoli deflate, causing the air to be forced out. This exhaled air is rich in carbon dioxide. This process of inhalation and exhalation is known as respiration, which is approximately 20 times per minute. Summary. In the thorax region, the rib cage and the diaphragm are observed, which play a vital role in respiration. Present within the rib cage are the pleural membranes, which enclose the lungs. The right lung consists of 3 lobes, while the left lung has only 2 lobes. Both the lungs are associated externally with bronchi, which unite and extend into the trachea. As we breathe, the oxygen molecules enter the nostrils and travel downwards through the pharynx and trachea to finally reach the bronchi. From each bronchus, oxygen travels into the lungs. Within the lungs, the bronchus divides repeatedly to form bronchioles. Oxygen travels through these bronchioles and reaches the alveoli, each of which is surrounded by a network of capillaries. As blood flows through the capillaries, the oxygen molecules from the alveolus diffuse into the capillary. This causes oxygenation of the RBCs. The carbon dioxide molecules are released into the alveolus. They are collected in the alveolar chamber, and then from the alveolus, it travels through the bronchioles. Into the bronchus, which finally reaches the trachea and is breathed out through the nostril.